So you're making a game, but you're not quite sure what you're looking at right now, and you want to find a solution to figure out what you're looking at. The perfect solution to this problem is called raycasting. This lets you cast a ray into your scene and collect information on the object that the ray hit, as well as apply manipulations to the object that you get from the raycast hit. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead and categorize these objects as red or blue based on their color here. We're going to add some tags to the Unity Tag Manager. So we're going to go ahead and add the blue and the red tags there. You don't have to actually select each object when you're adding the tags to the Tag Manager, because when you add a new tag, it just opens the Tags and Layers panel there. But once you actually have the tags added to the Unity Tag Manager, we're going to go ahead and select each object and apply the tags to them by selecting the tag from the drop-down when we select their object. After we have the items categorized, we're going to go ahead and grab our raycast script we have put on our camera. Right now it's just the default script template, so let's go ahead and fill this out. The first thing we're going to need is the raycast hit variable here. This will contain information about the object we hit with our raycast. The next thing we're going to have is the ray object itself. The ray is represented by a origin and a direction. We're going to go ahead and set the origin of the ray to the position of the camera, and the direction of the ray we will set to 5 units in front of the camera. To do this, we use this transform direction function. This basically just transforms vector3.forward to be relative to the camera rather than relative to the world. Don't forget our semicolon there. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to call the raycast function here. So we're going to call Physics.Raycast, pass in our ray variable we created right there, and we're going to use the hit parameter as an out parameter. What this means is it's basically saying, hey raycast function, we have this hit parameter here. We want you to modify the variable we already have rather than returning a new one or just copying it and not doing anything with it. So next we're going to check if the hit object has the collider available. If you look at the documentation here, we see that the raycast hit has some parameters that are pretty useful. We're going to use the collider property of the raycast hit, and if we check the documentation for the collider objects, then we see that there are some useful parameters that we can use, such as tag or transform of the object, which is what we're going to use in this video here. So now that we have our documentation read and we know what we're doing, we're going to go ahead and log the collider tag to the console using debug.log. So let's see what that looks like. You can see here in the console, when we look at the blue guy, we get some blue printouts, and when we look at the red guy, we get some red printouts. So let's do something a little bit more interesting. Let's go ahead and have the guys move when we click on them while we're looking at them. So we're going to get the transform from the collider object and the hit object from the raycast. So we're going to make this hit transform. We're going to use that to move the objects a little bit. So now if we play this and we click on the guys here, then they should move. All right, here we go. Come on, red guy. There. Very nice.